Do you feel like you're kind of like helping kick down the door for like, because we would always, I mean, you've talked about it, but just like Indians in entertainment would always be, at least in the U.S., obviously the Indian movie space is wild. It's like its own world. But like in terms of like U.S. casting, it's always like super typecasted shit. But I feel like that's becoming like a lot less, like I think in general with just most races that aren't white or black, like it's opening up a lot more. But I think on the comedy side, like I think like you kind of really like faced a lot of those like stereotypes or a lot of those like conceptions about your people in the entertainment industry head on. Do you feel like you're kind of helping kind of change that narrative a bit?
In a way. Now, I always had a different take on, like, I got a lot of those stereotypical whatever, but I always had a different take on what's offensive to me and what's not than most people. And I think a lot of times people kind of, and this is what Bring Back Apu is also kind of fighting back against, I think, is a lot of minorities will take white people's guilt about what has been done in the past, which is fucked, but they will really exploit that and hammer that home. And the point of their comedy is to make them feel bad, and that was a way to like elevate your own profile and get your money. Those guys don't often really help out Indians or brown people. There's one entertainer I see who's really doing it, Rami Youssef. Rami?
Yeah.
That motherfucker is about it, dude. His show is not about guilting anybody, and then he puts all his homies on. He's doing a show for Mo Amer. Mo, that's Rami that helped get that done.
It's a great show.
If you are brown and talented, Rami will do what he can to elevate you, and I feel like that's the way to do it. I think what a lot of we see is like, I get typecast as, accents, and then they just do that to get ahead.
Yeah, and the other thing too was like, why is like Abu is like obviously like he's a business owner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's got a family.
Yeah.
There's great things about that character. Now, was he voiced by a white guy? Sure.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, it was, hey, just have an Indian dude do the voice, cool. But it wasn't that. It was a lot of, oh my God, look at the struggle we go through. And it's not fun to get made fun of with the Apu accent. But like, you can't possibly compare that to what black people have been through in America, what gay people have been through in America. You're doing this to get ahead. I just know for a fact you are. None of you got PTSD from this shit. And if maybe a couple of you, most of you don't got PTSD from this shit.
Right.
Like, it's not a thing.
Right.
It's not. Stop it. And I hope what I see a lot of minorities do to get ahead is kind of take the liberal side of everything.
Right.
And I'm not conservative. I do think I'm very moderate.
I think nowadays, man, I traditionally am a liberal guy.
Yeah.
But I swear the last 3 years hasn't made me like, just pulled me to the middle where I'm just like, I don't know.
100%.
Man. Everybody's batshit crazy.
100%. And we should be allowed to say that without upsetting and still get opportunities. It should be okay to say that. And I do think before it was either, you are the liberal guy, and I'm not picking on him, but Aziz was doing a lot of that before.
Yeah, a lot of it, dude.
They called him Woke Bay.
Yeah, even like his last stand-up, I got like 5 minutes in, and I was like, all right.
It was a lot of like, he started really leaning that way. He got rewarded for it. Mm-hmm. Or you'd got to do the Candace Owens thing, which is also, it's even worse.
It's insane.
It's gross. But you can't just be like a moderate guy who's like, both y'all are fucking crazy. Yeah. As a minority, I felt like you couldn't do that. And I hope that's what I can do. It's okay to push back on either side.
I think that's what, during the pandemic, I think that was also a great thing that you guys provided, was just like unadulterated, like nonpartisan, just fuck both sides. We're gonna offend everybody.
And I feel that. Fuck both sides.
Yeah. It's like, this shit is crazy. None of this shit makes sense. Like, I think like, and even like certain shit, like when you guys had that, what's the comedian's name from LA who said he was into the trans women, and you guys brought...
Derek Poston. That's my guy, dude.
You guys brought the girl on the next episode. That shit is hilarious, but it's also like ultra progressive if you really think of like bringing somebody from that community on in a normal situation. Yeah. It kind of like, I think when we only see those kind of people in like memes. Yeah. Or like in like this like really extremely like weird woke way. And like, I just thought it was like...
The best way to normalize any group of people or any person is to treat them normally.
And just talk to them.
Talk to them normally. That's the whole point, right? So if we have a conversation with a trans woman and then we make some jokes, but we have fun and we learn.
And you're going to make a joke with a straight woman. You're going to make a joke with everybody. That's what you're going to do.
That's what it is. Equal opportunity offenders. And then I feel like, now I think a lot of people walked away from that like, oh, I look at this differently.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure.